This is exactly what you want to do in your test. You want to be as detailed as possible.
The description is rich. It is thick. It's very easy for the reader to visualize exactly what happened.
Let's go back. What are the 4 stages in writing? First, you brainstorm. Number 2, you make an outline, the actual writing phase, and then the editing phase. So those are the 4 stages that you have to follow. It's January 2021. Happy New Year to our subscribers and followers. After 4 months on YouTube, we're so happy that now we have more than 6,000 subscribers, more than 100,000 views, and more than 400,000 minutes watched. In our last 4 months, we've featured all sorts of topics in IELTS, OET, and PTE. So now we're thinking, what else are we going to feature on our YouTube channel? For the benefit of our general training candidates, we're going to do an on-the-spot GT letter writing. So first things first, what's writing task 1 for the general training candidates? It's letter writing. So when you say letter, it could be formal, it could be informal. What are the different types of letters? It could be application for a job, resignation from your job, recommendation letter for a friend who's going to apply for a job, invitation, letter of complaint, letter of request. But we've noticed that in our last 14 years of teaching IELTS, it's usually letter of complaint and letter of request that are more common in the actual examination. So that's exactly what we're going to do for today's YouTube presentation. Now, you might want to ask, who are taking the general training module? So, number 1, those who are applying for fiancé or spouse visa. Number 2, the skilled workers like butchers, welders, electricians, linemen, mechanics, and the like. Number 3, those who are migrating to Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. So now you have an idea what's GT letter writing, and then who are usually taking general training module. In addition to that, in the actual examination, you're given approximately 20 minutes to finish the writing task and minimum of 150 words. So with us for our YouTube presentation are Sir Philip and Sir Brian. Because Sir Brian is going to do the on-the-spot letter writing, we'll ask Sir Philip to talk about the 4 criteria for judging. So, Sir Philip, would you like to inform our audience what the 4 criteria in writing are?
Definitely. The 4 criteria are the following. First, there's task achievement. Second, there is coherence and cohesion. Third, there's grammatical range and accuracy. And lastly, fourth, lexical resource, which is the same as vocabulary. The first 2 criteria, task achievement and coherence and cohesion, deal primarily with the manner that you deliver your thoughts. On the other hand, grammar and vocabulary deal more on the language. Grammar is assessed in 2 ways, in terms of correctness and complexity. Correctness, whether it's actually correct. Complexity, whether you can demonstrate a broad range of grammatical structures. Lexical resource, on the other hand, follows a similar pattern. It's assessed in terms of 2 ways as well, accuracy and variety. Accuracy, whether you're using the right word to communicate what you really want to say. Variety, on the other hand, means that you can say the same thing in different ways so that you don't sound too repetitive. Coherence and cohesion deal primarily with paragraphing and how you're able to make your sentences flow from one to the other. Task achievement, lastly, is about whether you can faithfully respond to the keywords, to the instructions, to the task description that's provided to you. It's a holistic assessment. Each criterion is of equal weight, which means, therefore, that your preparation should be holistic as well, as I'm sure Sir Brian would be demonstrating for us today.
Okay, so before we continue, let's first take a look at the GT letter writing task description. So this is the manual that we provide our reviewees taking the general training module. Looking at this one, it has more than 50 task descriptions for GT letter writing. So let's take a look at number 47. You recently bought an item of clothing from a shop. You discovered that it had a fault and returned it to the shop for replacement or refund. However, the assistant told you that this was against the store's policy. Write a letter to the store manager. So in this case, you do not personally know the store manager. The store manager is not a family member, not your best friend, not even your lover. That is why this is a formal letter that you're supposed to write. Explaining the problems you have had. Ask for a refund or exchange on the item. You should write at least 150 words. You should spend about 20 minutes on this task. You do not need to write your own address. So that's the task description that you're going to see in your actual test booklet. So now we're going to turn over to Sir Brian for the on-the-spot GT letter writing. Sir Brian, the floor is yours.
Okay, let's begin. Before anything, I usually start with an outline. So I would like to highlight that there are 3 tasks here. The first one is to explain the problems. The second one is to ask for a refund or an exchange on the item. And definitely in all of the letters that you're going to be writing, you have to introduce yourself. So that's what we're going to do. Here we are a customer, okay, who purchased an item of clothing. So we might want to think of what kind of item of clothing we are going to complain about. Can you give me some inputs, Sir Philip, on what particular item of clothing we want to talk about?
Perhaps a long-sleeved shirt that has a hole in it.
Okay, a long-sleeved shirt. And that's actually pretty nice because we have a modifier which is going to improve our vocabulary. A long-sleeved shirt with a hole, maybe around the sleeve area.
Perhaps.
Okay, or maybe around the, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Okay, and then after that, we need to explain what problem we encountered. Okay, so the problem here was that we went to the shop to have it replaced, but the store assistant or the store assistant said that it was against the company policy. Okay, right. Now I would want to elaborate the refund or exchange part. I believe that there are laws that are involved here. So probably there are policies that are involved here. And I could probably say that this is an unfair policy and something that goes against the maybe the law, right? Okay. And also I would want to stress that I would want the full refund for the price that I paid for the item of clothing. Or if it's not possible, then perhaps an exchange would be possible as well with the same item of the same color. Oh, we might want to describe the shirt. Okay, so what color would it be, Sir Philip? What do you think?
Well, Sir Irvin and I are wearing a blue shirt now, so let's make it blue.
Yeah. Okay. So that's nice. A blue shirt, perhaps.
Yeah.
It's blue. Does it have patterns in it, or is it plain?
It's a plain blue. It's a solid blue.
All right. Solid.
Let's make it azure.
Solid blue color, which had the perfect fit. Okay. So there. So I have now a quick outline. This can be elaborated later, but let's go and start with the letter. In IELTS, you do not need to write addresses. So you go and start with whatever instruction is provided. In this case, we do not have a particular instruction, but let's just assume that it's dear sir / madam. Okay. Usually you start with your introduction. So I'd like to start with I am one of your customers who just recently purchased. So did we the word that was used was bought, so I would like to change that into purchased so that there's a little bit of paraphrasing. And one of your customers who just recently purchased a long-sleeved shirt from your shop a few days ago, or maybe just recently bought, so we don't need to put the time. Just recently purchased a long sleeve shirt from your shop. I am writing to complain about the item that was sold to me as it is actually what is written here, it had a fault. Okay, it actually had a huge hole around the sleeve area. Okay, let's explain the situation. Okay, I have already introduced myself, so I'd like to explain the situation. Okay, I bought this item of clothing from your store a couple of days ago. And I particularly liked the shirt as it had the perfect color, which is a solid blue, and the right fit. I was not able to see that there was a fault in it when I checked out. When I got home and tried it on, I noticed that the tear around the sleeve area was really noticeable, and it was impossible for me to wear it. Because of this, I went to your shop right away to have it replaced, only to find out that it was against your company policy to have items returned or refunded, as your assistant told me. Store assistant told me. Okay, and then I would want to I believe that this policy is against is very unreasonable, right? Okay, so I believe this policy of yours goes against the is unreasonable. Let's start with that. Is very unreasonable and something that is not compliant to the law, or probably that is not compliant with the law. Consumers, okay, should be able to have items that are obviously defective replaced. Should be able to have items that are obviously defective replaced or refunded by the company, as indicated in the consumer protection rights, okay, of shops, or no, of the protection rights of consumers, okay, okay, in our state. Okay, I'll just edit this later, and then let's write the demand. Okay, therefore, I am requesting for a full refund for the price I paid for this item. And if this is not possible, then I would wish to have a replacement that is of the same color and size as the shirt I bought. Okay, maybe that's okay. It might tend to be too long. Usually I end with the closing statement, or maybe a concluding paragraph. Sir Philip likes to call it the goodbye paragraph.
Yes, you remember.
So I would want to put it right here. Should you wish to discuss this matter with me personally, please feel free to contact me, okay, via mobile. And then let's put our mobile number, 0999-999-999 for a perfect 9. Let's put one more 9.
Okay.
Okay, right, that's enough. And then you can write yours sincerely or yours faithfully, and then you could write here your name. My name is Brian Martin Sioson. And you can also put your title if that's appropriate. In this case, you could put customer if you want, or you can just put Brian Martin Sioson and that's it. Okay, so that's it basically. Now we need to do a quick word count, okay, so that we would be able to find out how many words we've written.
Or maybe we
we
like
should
to edit
yeah,
first.
yeah, definitely.
Okay, so while Sir Brian and Sir Philip are going to do the editing, what we just showed you is a rundown of how it's done in the actual examination. When you write, you don't write right away. What do? The first stage in writing, in any case, is brainstorming. You read the task description. Number 2, after brainstorming, there goes outlining, there's writing, and editing. So let's begin with brainstorming. You identify the keywords in the task description. After this, you think of ideas that will help you in coming up with the actual letter. Now, outlining is very important because it is the backbone of your writing task. It will help you come up with an organized letter. So, if you're not able to brainstorm and outline well, you don't expect to write well. It's just like you cannot go to high school without finishing grade school. After writing, no man is perfect, right? That is why we need to devote time to edit the output. Human as we are, we commit mistakes when we write. Even the professional writers commit mistakes. So expect that in your first output, you'll be committing some errors. And that's exactly the point of editing. So let's go back. What are the 4 stages in writing? First, you brainstorm. Number 2, you make an outline, the actual writing phase, and then the editing phase. So those are the 4 stages that you have to follow. For the benefit of our audience and subscribers, whenever we do our YouTube videos, these are just one takes. So do not expect that somewhere along the way we cut and we do the editing. No, it's not done that way. So everything here is impromptu, everything is on the spot, extemporaneous. So later, after they're done with the editing, we're going to check how many words Sir Brian was able to write. So right now, they're checking for repetition of words, punctuation, capitalization, anything that will affect the performance. Sir Philip earlier mentioned the 4 criteria. The content-based criteria, task achievement, and coherence and cohesion. The last 2 are the ones related to your language, vocabulary and lexical resource, and then grammatical range and accuracy. FYI, the examiner is going to give you whole numbers as grades for the 4 criteria. So that means to say 1 as the lowest, 9 as the highest. No one is going to get 6.5 in grammar. No one is going to get 7 3/4 in vocabulary. Only whole number values. By the way, it's not really the examiner who's going to write the final grade that will appear in your result. It's the computer. So what is it that the computer is going to do? To get the average, okay? Writing task 1, 33% of your grade. Writing task 2, 66% of your grade. So what the computer does is to get the average of your 4 grades in the 4 criteria in writing task 1, 4 grades for the 4 criteria in writing task 2 multiplied by 2. That's exactly why writing task 1, 33% of your grade. Writing task 2, 66% of your grade. And we were also told, based on the workshops that we've attended, writing task 1 examiner is not the same person checking your writing task 2. Writing task 2 examiner is not the same person checking your writing task 1. So to a certain extent, your writing examiner doesn't have an idea what's grade that's going to appear on your IELTS result. It's only the computer that actually knows that. So now, let's check whether Sir Brian and Sir Philip are done with the editing part of the letter.
Almost there.
Okay.
Almost there.
Almost there.
So you should be able to have
It doesn't actually matter. Why? Because in the actual examination, you're given enough time. And I'm sure this is not 20 minutes yet. So what they're doing is to check for repetition of words, consistency of verb tenses, and everything that needs to be checked in your output. we want to assure you that guys, when you take the actual examination, you will definitely commit mistakes because to err is part of human nature. That's exactly why you have to devote time for editing. If you don't edit your work, then sometimes you're going to get a lower grade for vocabulary and grammar. And sometimes it's editing that spells the difference between getting the required band score and 0.5 away from your target band score. What makes this important? If you're applying for an immigrant visa, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, all three of them award higher immigration points if you're getting a higher grade in the IELTS General Training module. That is why we consistently emphasize to our candidates in writing and speaking, you have to give it your best shot so that you will have higher immigration points, more chances for you to be invited by the immigration, and obviously you can bring your entire family here since immigrant visa is usually not just for the principal, but also the spouse and the dependents, the kids in particular. Okay?
Okay.
So,
We're done.
We're done.
We're done.
I just had to talk while they were editing. Okay? That's the point.
Yes.
Okay, so I will just delete the part where we wrote the outline. Oh, sorry. So this one. Oh, why is it highlighting? Okay, so let's delete that one. And this is the finished output. I'll just do a very quick word count. Okay, till where do we count? Here now. Okay, so how many words did we write? So where's the word count? Okay, we have written 265 words. So that's actually a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, word count 265. Oops, sorry. All right. Okay, so anyway, you wouldn't want to write something as lengthy as this though, right? Especially when you're pressed for time. Okay, so let's read. Dear Sir / Madam, I'm one of your customers who just recently purchased a long sleeve shirt from your shop. I'm writing to complain about this item as it had an obvious manufacturing defect. I bought this item of clothing from your store a couple of days ago, and I particularly liked the shirt as it had the perfect color, which is a solid blue, and the right fit. Since I was so astonished with both the quality and price of the item, I was not able to see that there was a fault in it before I paid for it. When I got home and tried it on, I noticed that there was a tear around the sleeve area that was really noticeable, and it was impossible for me to wear it. Because of this, I went to your shop right away to have it replaced, only to find out that it was, according to your store assistant, against your company policy.
Can we interrupt first before we move on to the next part? So, if you've noticed, not all the details you get to see here are in the task description. That is the point of the IELTS candidate. Your task description isn't 150 word long. Your task description will just give you an idea what you're supposed to write. So all the details must come from you. So as early as now, what do we recommend you to do? Try to describe everything around you. The thicker, the richer the description, the easier for you to reach 150 words in the actual examination. And because this is IELTS, it could be anything under the sun. That's why we want you to try describing everything around you. It will definitely help you in both writing and speaking. So let's continue.
Okay, here's the second body paragraph. I believe that this practice is very unreasonable and non-compliant with the law. Consumers should be able to have items that are obviously defective replaced or refunded by the company as indicated in the protection rights of consumers in our state. Therefore, I'm requesting that my money be returned, and if this is not possible, then I would wish to have another shirt that is of the same color, size, and design as the one I bought. So there, and here's the goodbye paragraph. Should you wish to discuss this matter with me personally, please feel free to contact me via mobile at 0999-999-9999. Yours sincerely, Brian Sioson, customer. What can you say, Sir Philip, about this couple of paragraphs right here?
Well, since I was part of the team that edited it, I think that it is quite excellent indeed. As Sir Irvin mentioned just a few seconds ago, the description is rich. It is thick. It's very easy for the reader to visualize exactly what happened. Everything is spelled out and everything is concrete and clear. I was not left wondering what item of clothing, what are we talking about here, what's wrong with it. And in addition to this, the tone of the letter is spot on. It is formal, but at the same time, it communicates the emotion that, which is dissatisfaction in this sense, in a matter that is quite appropriate for the task.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I just want to share my personal experience taking the general training module. This is exactly what you want to do in your test. You want to be as detailed as possible. You want to make sure your letter communicates what you intend to communicate. It should not be like an imaginary situation. It should be like a real situation that the examiner would also experience as he or she reads your paper. And if you're able to reach that level of proficiency, then you would get a very decent score in your actual exam.
So why ask Sir Brian to do the GT letter writing? Well, he took English examinations thrice, okay? PTE, IELTS Academic, and IELTS General Training. So what scores did he get in his English examinations? Well, for PTE, he got perfect 90 over 90 in all components. And then for IELTS, in one of his 2 attempts, he got the perfect 9 in listening, perfect 9 in reading, perfect 9 in writing, and perfect 9 in speaking, plus the 9.0 elusive 9.0 overall band score. What did you notice? His output did not contain big words. Why? This is not an essay writing contest. This is not poetry, okay? This is not Shakespeare's English. It's you proving to your examiner that your English is accurate and you don't use exactly the same words all over again. Now, that's when we enter the picture. Because the purpose of our lecturers and coaches to assess your performance and help you improve for the better, to maximize your potential in getting the target band score. So, for OET, we've mentioned earlier, like how many coaching slots do we have per day? Roughly 80 to 90. But for IELTS, we have more than 130 coaching slots per day. Wherever you are, whether you're in Africa, in South America, Europe, we have one-on-one coaching from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Philippine time. And it's not really difficult for our reviewees to get a slot for one-on-one coaching, considering the number of coaches evaluating the performance of our candidates. So as of January 2021, we have 20 IELTS coaches assessing our candidates on a daily basis. And remember, because we micromanage, we easily get to know if there is a need for more slots. That's why we constantly hire IELTS passers to coach our reviewees. So if you have any questions, all you have to do is to message us on Facebook or our email address. For sure, you get to see here on the screen our website and our Facebook page. Thank you so much for your time. This is 9.09er GT Letter Writing Vlog.